welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you all so much. Here. Okay, let me see who was here first. Is that Ispy was here first? No? Yes? Oh, Kim Harris. Thank you for being here first. There are no prizes, but I appreciate it. Okay, Lydia Washington, Mary H., the People's Duchess, Fancy Fancy. Now we see Ispy here. Okay, I don't think we'll be here more than an hour. Let's get on with it. Trademark. Trademark. What's in a trademark? What does trademark even mean? Oh, you know what? I could do like Lady Sussex, George and Charles. Trademark. The use of trademark goes back to the 14th century. I'm just kidding. It doesn't say that. But what does trademark mean? Uh, hmm. Yeah. What is the definition of trademark? A trademark is a word, phrase, symbol, or design that identifies companies, products, or services. Trademarks help consumers distinguish a company from its competitor. How trademarks are used. It says here a trademark helps a customer recognize a company and its products and services. Trademarks help prevent others from using a company's brand identity without permission. A trademark provides legal protection for companies' brands. How to get a trademark? Apply for a trademark through the United States Patent Office, or as they say in the UK, patent, and Trademark Office, the USPTO, the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Prepare and submit an application. Work with the USPTO examining attorney. Receive approval or denial of the application. And one must maintain the registration. Trademark examples are the McDonald's Golden Arches design, Nike's swoosh logo combined with the stylized word Nike. Yeah, so whether you see the whoosh or you see Nike, either one, you know that it's theirs. A trademark search can help determine if a company name or brand is similar to other well known marks. Now, that being said, um, one of the strangest trademarks, or was it copyrights that I've ever heard of? Um, oh, by the way, let's just do that first. Trademark is a primary use to protect symbol, word, or phrases, whereas copyright is also protects a wider variety of creative works, such as a sound, um, recording, books, or artwork in many mediums, meaning, of course, the recording industry, the film industry, and print industry, so on and so forth, right? So, like for instance, could I copyright that horrible squeak that that other chair used to make? Well, I tell you what, if you wait long enough, the next chair, the one that I bought to replace it, it's going to be crying the blues too. So I wonder if I should get a copyright for both. But yeah, there are certain things that one is able to copyright. So I was going to say one of the strangest copyrights I've ever heard. Well, okay, let's not say strange, let's say unique. The term three-peat. It was used in basketball during the time of Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. Well, I think it was one of the coaches, put a copyright on the term three-peat. And another one that is under a copyright, Super Bowl. You cannot advertise using the term Super Bowl. You can only use it to share news or something like that. but you cannot use it to advertise. So if you're having a Super Bowl party, you may want to refer to it as the big game party because Super Bowl has a copyright. So there's the copyright and then there's the trademark. The trademark is more to do with symbolism, whereas copyright has to do with sound, motion pictures, images, and so on and so forth. So when Meghan wrote that letter to her father, under British law, we don't have that law in the US, but under British law, there's a copyright. And the person who owns the copyright, in other words, those were Meghan's words and Meghan's alone, even though that monster that we discussed yesterday was trying to sabotage Meghan by saying that he co-authored a letter. Now, Meghan, the last thing we could ever say is that Meghan needed help expressing herself. But he tried it. And once Meghan's lawyers said, you know what? We're going to have to talk to you. All of a sudden, he didn't have anything to do with it. See how that works? Once you call the lawyers, then all of a sudden, he didn't have anything to do with it. So anyway, as I mentioned before, copyright, trademark, all of those things are very important. They have certain legal applications that can help protect your intellectual rights and property. So, very fascinating. Okay. Wow, my glasses are kind of dirty. Let me see if I can fix that so I can see what I'm doing here. They all foggy. Let's see. Cookies and Cream, thank you for joining us. And Truth Serum. Oh, I like that Truth Serum. All right. That Truth Serum is like the Wonder Woman's magic lasso. Either way, you're going to sing like Aretha Franklin. You will have no secrets. Teddy Bungo, thank you for being here. All right. Want some tea? Herbal or verbal? Yeah, let's get in here for a little tea. Hey, what's up, Sussex Squad? Come on in here, you guys. Close the door. I haven't done that one in a while, right? My imitation of Tisha Tells. Hey, what's up, Sussex Squad? Come on in here, you guys. And of course, my other favorite. Hello, Ivy here. And let me see who else I haven't done for a while. Oh, I know. Hey guys, Claire here. And oh yeah, thank you for clicking on my channel. Let me see. Is there anybody I'm missing? No, I guess not. I mean, those are, should I say, those are the more distinctive greetings. Our faves, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Not a day goes by that Harry and Meghan has not been instrumental in everything that has ever happened in the history of mankind. All you have to do is look at those dreaded tabloid media papers and some of those podcasts, and you will know that there has not been a single act in history where Harry and Meghan hasn't had some level of participation or responsibility. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Well, it's a Super Bowl moment. Now, I don't know if the NFL could go after them for that, but yeah, they use that term, a Super Bowl moment. And I don't believe that William and his, charity or well, I'm sorry, foundation, whatever they call it, they have not advertised it as such. William's spokespeople or courtiers, whoever they speak to at the palace, they're the ones who keep saying Super Bowl moment. So it's not actually an advertisement. So I don't think that they can go after them for that because they're drawing a very, very vague comparison. So it's not as though the Earth flop or Earth plop, it's not as though they're the ones that are doing that. That's the way they use their descriptions to report it in the papers and other places. So, yeah, I don't think there's any liability there. About the only thing you could do is send a cease and desist letter. Sometimes, if you let people know that you're not pleased, um, then they may stop or cease using that term. And that, of course, is like almost the first step before legal action is taken. But I don't think that there's a case. As media people are concerned, you can get away with a whole lot of things. And of course, there's also the right to parody. There is a certain right to serialize or use parodies or comedy and such. That's how they get away with stuff like that on Saturday Night Live. They don't have to ask permission to use the McDonald's logo if it's, you know, in the act of a humorous skit or something like that. You don't have to ask permission. And sometimes companies are eager to participate. So, with love, Meghan. And of course, as ever, Meghan. With love, Meghan. That's the show on Netflix. And as ever, Meghan. That, of course, will be the brand that is um, Meghan's new way of marketing from her as ever Instagram. It's going to be a lot of products and such. There'll probably be a list of favorite things, but we'll just have to wait and see. One thing I'm sure that there isn't is apparel. I don't suppose that the Duchess of Sussex had any intentions of starting an apparel line, which is something I want to make a point about. There's a reason why I mentioned Trademark. So let's get to it. As ever. Now, there is a company in New York called As Ever NYC. As Ever. And don't you just love this panoramic view of Manhattan? Isn't that amazing? I'm pretty sure that oh gosh, that's the financial center in the distance. And I believe um, oh gosh, what do they call it? The United Nations is somewhere to the left. That is an awesome view of Manhattan. Love that. Anyway, so there you go. Megan's new name. He's been using it for years. Now, this is the New York Times. The founder of New York clothing brand learned that he had something in common with the Duchess of Sussex this week, a business called As Ever. So the guy on the right side, that's the guy who has the clothing brand that he's had, oh, I think since the early 2000s, right? Mark Kolsky was sitting at home in his Stuyvesant Heights. Yeah, I think it's Stuyvesant Heights, Brooklyn neighborhood, drinking a cup of coffee by his sewing machine when the messages started to pour in. Now, you guys, you've heard that description before, right? Oh, I woke up. I thought something was wrong with my phone. I thought the factory was in trouble. I thought it was this. I thought it was that. I couldn't understand why people were trying to get in touch with me. I had all these emails. Doesn't that sound familiar? Yeah, it sounds familiar because that is Okay, you tell me, guys. When that happens, what do they call that? What do they call it? When your phone is ringing off the hook, all of your friends are trying to call you. People are saying, "Did you see that? Did you see that?" What do they call that? There's a name for it. I'll wait. I'll wait. I'll wait. There is a name for it. When people are flooding your emails, yes, that's it. Nana de Sussex. It's the Meghan effect. It is the Meghan effect. Now, stick a pin in that one because that's very important. So stick a pin in it. Thank you, Heather Stroud. On Tuesday, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, had released a name for her new cooking and lifestyle brand as ever. But Mr. Koski's morning was thrown into to turmoil, tumult. Anyway, because the vintage inspired workwear brand he started a decade ago is also named as It Happens as Ever. I started getting messages from friends and family and people that know my brand. Mr. Koski 58 said that they were saying, "Have you seen this?" There was just a lot of confusion. I didn't really know what to do. That's what he said. There was a lot of confusion. I didn't know what to do. Mr. Koski's life. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. Let me do this. Notice the background of that image. Did you guys notice the background image that I'm using there? Did you notice this background? How about that background? Mr. Koski's life had been upended in the days since his phone ringing incessantly as he found himself thrown into a flurry of speculative tabloid coverage about Meghan's use of the label name. It's in an interview this week, he said he had been reading up on trademark law and had consulted with a lawyer. His brand also has been discovered by, now listen to this, his brand had also been discovered by new fans. I'm doing air quotes with my fingers. Come on, do some air quotes with me. Discovered by new fans. Are you guys doing the air quotes? One more time. Had been discovered by new fans. His Instagram account netting thousands of followers. Thousands of followers. By the way, you guys, don't forget to hit the like button. For Meghan, the incident is the latest snarl in her effort to create a lifestyle brand. Last year, she announced that she was starting one called American Riviera Orchard. But her trademark application faced setbacks, including questions over the use of a geographic place name and the potential trademark similarities. Harry and David's Royal Riviera products, for an example. In a video announcement on her Instagram account on Tuesday, Meghan addressed the name change, adding that As Ever would debut soon around the same time as her coming Netflix series With Love, Meghan. In 2 weeks, my show is coming out, which I'm so excited for, and also my business, which I think there's been a lot of curiosity about. She said last year, I had thought, you know what? American Riviera, that sounds like such a great name. It's my neighborhood. It's a nickname for Santa Barbara, but it limited me to things that were manufactured and grown in this area. And of course, though he has explored options, Mr. Koski says he is not. Are you guys listening? Listen very carefully. He is not planning any legal recourse. One more time. He is not planning any legal recourse. My brother's an attorney, and so I called him, and he said he's not an intellectual property lawyer, but he did say, you know, you have some rights based on your established business. I'm not trying to mount some legal offensive here, he added. Right now, I'm just going back to work. I'm trying to keep the awareness of my brand. If any conflict eventually arises that affect my business, I'll evaluate that then. What does that sound like to you? What does that sound like to you? That sounds like the Meghan effect has really kicked in. Mr. Kolsky also stressed that despite reports in the tabloids to the contrary, his he harbors no resentment toward the Duchess of Sussex. Now, mind you, this article is from the New York Times. That's why it doesn't sound so snarky and shady. Don't forget to hit that like button, you guys. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Your like, shares, and subscriptions help to perpetuate this channel. Okay, and it includes here or concludes that what it feels like is there people, I'm sorry, what it feels like is out there, people are making comments and the media, they want to create a rift between us. But there isn't, he said. I haven't talked to them. They haven't talked to me. There's no battle going on. Did you guys hear that? He has not talked to the media, and they haven't talked to him. And that is, of course, the tabloid media. I think that that's what he's referring to. The tabloid media has come up with 1,001 things that he said or how he feels and what he's about to do. Hey, Hazel Jones, Carmen's Place Beauty, Fancy. They've Heather Stroud. They've come up with all of this stuff, and none of it is true. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I have one more part here? Gene Frommer, a law professor at New York University who specializes in intellectual property, said that although Mr. Kolsky does not have a registered trademark, he probably has trademark protection simply because he has been doing business under the name. They have a claim that with the right set of facts, they might be able to make, she said, it might be an uphill battle to make it, but it's not a laughable claim. As of Friday afternoon, however, matters of trademark law were not on Mr. Kolsky's mind. He was busy dealing with the surge of interest in his fashion line. The inventory on his website sales section, this is my favorite part. The inventory on his website sales section had sold out. It had sold out. For the first time, it's sold out. The new fans keep following him on Instagram. He has brought a new set of eyes to my, it has brought a new set of eyes to my business, Mr. Kolsky said. That's the positive for me. More people are aware of me now. So will it hurt my business in the future? I don't think so. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. But let's look at how the tabloids has covered this. New York City clothing label, as ever, speaks out after Meghan Markle shares rebranding news. Speaks out. He has spoken out as though there is a problem. That's what they want you to feel. The Duchess of Sussex announced she was changing the name of her lifestyle brand on Tuesday. Page 6, very shady. Meghan Markle's as ever rebrand hits another roadblock as New York City clothing label with same name speaks out. There is no flipping roadblock. That is a lie. There is no roadblock. There is no, you saw what I just shared with you, right? Where's the roadblock? Where is the roadblock? New York City label as ever. This is from MSN. You know you can't trust them. As ever speaks out after Meghan Markle shares rebranding news. Speaks out. He's spoken out. They love to say that, right? Uh, what is that? Hindustan time? We exist. New York City clothing label as ever expresses concern after Meghan Markle picked same name for her. Okay, that makes it sound like some desperate person waving their hand. Hey, hey, over here, we exist. Please don't let Megan's big company and big influence destroy us. On the contrary, it is the best thing that has ever happened to this 58-year-old man. 58. Now he's getting the recognition that he's always wanted at age 58. What is that? WWD Women's Wear Daily. Is that what that is? Meghan Markle, as ever brand, faces similarly named company that started first. Also trying to lure you into the article as though there's a problem. Daily Mail, owner of independent business with same name as Meghan Markle, as ever reveals update on legal action. Now that was from today. And you know what the update is? There is no action. As of 12 hours ago, nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Vanity Fair. Now this is Vanity Fair. Meghan Markle's as ever logo problems are a little more nuanced than armchair experts make it sound. Nah, not really. Let's see. Meghan Markle rebrand set to spark legal battle now that's GB News. That's GB News. Listen to this one. Meghan Markle rebrand set to spark legal battle as New York designer fights back. He's fighting back. You know what he's fighting? He's fighting back the tears and the laughter of joy. And the reason why he's fighting is because he's laughing so hard. He's feeling so much joy and he's celebrating so much, he can't get any work done. That's why he's fighting back tears and laughter and such. That's the only fighting that he's doing because he's so happy that if he died tomorrow, they would need dynamite to get the smile off his face. And even then, it probably wouldn't work. Okay? That's a happy man right there. At age 58, he is finally getting the recognition that he feels he's deserved for his entire career in fashion. Meghan facing even more legal drama over her as ever brand launch. Another shady source, Sky News Australia. Y'all know they shady. Daily Mail. Now this is from 6 days ago. Independent New York clothing label with same name as Meghan Markle as ever pleads for support as fans hit out such and such. It cuts off there. Now there, the Daily Mail makes it sound like he has fans. Okay, somebody who never saw his face before. He has all of these fans that are fighting and crying in the streets. They're protesting, trying to get the big giant Meghan Markle to back off and leave him alone. Leave him alone. You know what? They so full of it. And then the last one I'm going to share with you is Mercury News, also shady. Meghan Markle faces new claim of stealing company's name as, for her as ever brand. A hip family-run New York City clothing store is already using the name as ever. Well, actually, what they're missing is as ever NYC. Can you all say that with me? As ever NYC. As ever NYC. They're not just saying as ever, they're using as ever NYC. See how they conveniently leave that out of everything? They have left that out of everything. They say same name, but they don't include the NYC. So really, it's not the same name. Okay, that would be like if your name was Robert Jabba the Hutt Jobson, or if your name was just Robert Jabba the Hutt or Robert Jobson. Well, all three of those names are different. There's Robert Jabba the Hutt Jobson, there's Robert Jabba the Hutt, and there's Robert Jobson. Those are not the same names. They have similar components, they have similar individual names, but there's as ever and there's as ever NYC. Oh, Lex says this is like the bullying allegations that Williams' aide made that no one confirmed that were settled in 2022 that they need to bring up again. Pathetic. Thank you, Lex, for the super chat. And that is a great example. That is a great example of their persistent shadiness. Owner of independent retailer with the same name as Meghan Markle's brand as ever says he no longer planning legal action. Mark Koski, the designer and owner of the New York City vintage clothing studio as ever, New York City, previously told dailymail.com that he has been left reeling. He did not say that, you guys. He did not say he was left reeling. Everything I just shared with you, I really doubt that he said that he had been left reeling from the news that the Duchess of Sussex had decided to relaunch her American Riviera Orchard Company under the same name, we just went over that, as his own clothing label. But after exploring his options, Mr. Koski, 58, has revealed he's no longer planning any legal response and is simply going back to work. I would say that is a good suggestion. And he lived happily ever after. There you go. He lived happily ever after. Now, on to the show. On to as ever, I'm sorry, with love, Meghan, right? That's all we have to think about now. All that other stuff, don't worry about it. Here's another image from yesterday. Check it out. When Meghan went to Northwestern University back in 2014 to promote Suits, I believe that's when this photo was taken. Meghan Markle smiles with fellow Wildcats while visiting her alma mater, Suits College Tour. Suits up Northwestern. Yeah, hashtag soups of soups. Anyway, you know what I mean. But that was back in 2014. Doesn't Jack Royston remind you of some marsupial or badger or otter or something like that? Royal correspondent for Newsweek covering Prince Harry. Now, that's what he has on his Twitter. Royal correspondent for Newsweek covering Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, Prince William, Kate Middleton, and Queen Elizabeth II. Now, that's an old one, actually. But I'm sharing that old screenshot of his Twitter just so that you can see his priority, Meghan, right? Harry and Meghan. That's all he really needs to put because that is about 99.99% of what he talks about. Gosh, that looks just like him with those beady eyes and that nasty wet nose and that yeah, kind of like an opossum, right? Yeah, he looks like some kind of marsupial or some kind of badger and or something. I can't say honey badger because honey badgers are tough. They'll kick your butt. There's nothing tough about him. I think that an old lady with a walking frame could take him. I think a Girl Scout could knock his lights out. So yeah, I don't see him as as a honey badger because those little creatures are tough. There's nothing tough about him. And he has thinning hair. I'm just saying. Okay. So now, what did I want to share about him? Oh, I believe this was a sound bite. That's what I need. This is a sound bite. As ever. This is like the best thing that has ever happened to that man. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that this is the best thing that has ever happened. If anyone should ever write my life story for whatever reason there might be, you'll be there. Okay, this is actually is the very possum face looking Jack Royston, and this pain in the neck, embarrassing Meghan Markle on the brink of failure. It was crazy decision to snub Suits. Netflix deal is a flop, claims expert. Watch the exclusive interview. I'm telling you, these two individuals, you would almost think that they were upset and felt bad for Meghan and that they were just trying to, but anyway, it was just an excuse to talk about her. And it was really directed toward their core audience of haters. But this one has to do with Jack Royston and this idea. Okay, I'm going to let you hear it and then we'll discuss it. Okay, I'll let you hear it and we'll discuss it.
In which they can just largely given up. I mean, it's quite interesting that Instagram is her social media channel because most of her fans are on Twitter. That is the real core of where the Sussex squad operate. And Meghan hasn't chosen to make Twitter her space. She's chosen Instagram, which shows a slight bit of disconnect between her and her fan base. So
really interesting point, actually. Sorry, carry on. But
no, I mean it is. She is trying to exist. Instagram is great for celebrities, and celebrities love it. It gives them a slightly more positive space in which they can just, their post is king. Like that is the key thing about Instagram. You post a picture, anybody who comments underneath it is subordinate to your original post. Whereas on Twitter, no one post has priority over another.
What he is saying is that he wished that she was on the Twitter so that people can viciously attack Meghan and that she and her team would be obliged to respond to it. That's what he's really saying. He's saying, how come she did not set herself up in a position where people can have an open conversation and belittle and berate her as much as they like, as often as they like. He wants to leave Meghan open and exposed to the hate campaign that is all over X, formerly known as Twitter. That's what he's really saying. He's making it seem like Meghan is somehow short-sighted and does not have a good understanding of her fans. If you truly love and respect Meghan, if you were ever a follower of Meghan on the TIG, then you know to go to Instagram. That's what matters, is the Instagram. He knows that she's not coming to Twitter. And of course, most celebrities, most famous people and such, they're just not going to go over there. It is owned by you know who. It has become a place of absolutely no scrutiny or oversight. Why would anybody want to go there so that they can be viciously attacked? So that people can have this exchange of hatred against her and her fans, her real fans. That's stupid. That's stupid. It's a it's a big fat nothing burger, a non-issue. He's pretending as though he's concerned for her that she didn't take this drastic move of you know what I'm saying? I mean, just it's so phony. It is so phony. Listen to it again.
Largely given up. I mean, it's quite interesting that Instagram is her social media channel because most of her fans are on Twitter. You know, that is the real core of where the Sussex squad operate. And Meghan hasn't chosen to make Twitter her space. She's chosen Instagram, which shows a slight bit of disconnect between her and her fan base.
So the Sussex squad doesn't know to go to Instagram. Or is it that he just wants to see combat, verbal, mental combat, keyboard warriors go at it on the Twitter? That's not going to happen. That is not going to happen. So scurry into the night, go and find your dumpster or garbage can or your little hole under somebody's front porch and stay there. Just stay out of sight. You too. Okay, British social attitudes. Support for the monarchy falls to new low. Data published today from the latest British social attitudes survey shows support for the monarchy has been in decline over the last decade or so. Well, we know that that's true. Now, they were underwater back in 2023. They were so down at that time. That was the first time that as a family, they had ever rated under 50%. And that's considered being underwater. Not a good place to be. The royal family, the monarchy, the Windsors as an institution were underwater. Now, the data published today from the latest British Social Attitude Survey conducted by the National Center for Research, Social Research, in autumn of 2023 shows that just over half, 54% of the people in Britain now believe that it is very or quite important for the Britain to have a monarchy. This is the lowest portion to be recorded by the survey since it first asked the question back in 1983. Back then, as many as 86% said it was important for Britain to have a monarchy. Wow, 1983. What was going on back then? Was that like the end of the Falkland Island War? Support for the monarchy has been in decline over the last decade or so. As recently as 2012, around 3/4, 76% still said having the monarchy was very or quite important. How important do you think it is for the monarchy, for Britain to have a monarchy? Anyway, this little graph that I'm looking at, let me see here. Very important, 54. Not very, 27.6. And the monarchy should be abolished, 15.7. That's what they're saying. And that was from as of 2023. Wait a minute, when did they say they did that study? That was autumn. After, now see, autumn, that's the fall. After Endgame, that's when they went down to 48%. After Endgame, that is when they went down to 48%. So this, I believe it predates Endgame. I really do believe that predates the Endgame. Yeah, because remember, by Christmas, they were in a panic. Britain's support for the monarchy is in a long-term decline, suggests King Charles faces challenge. That was back in May of 2023. That's the one I just shared on the right. The Guardian long wave. Many more countries are ditching the British monarchy. That is an article from February 5th. The monarchy rests on a lie that the UK needs an elected head of states. Support for the monarchy rests on misrepresenting this undemocratic institution and its remote and lazy occupants as something that does so much good for the country. The UK needs a democratic alternative that makes us participants, not spectators in our governance. Now that's Graham Smith. And on the right, Britain's support for monarchy is in long-term decline, suggests King. Oh, I just did that one. All right, never mind. Endgame. I promise you, when Endgame came out, that is when they were at their lowest. The revelation about what's her name, Kate and Charles III being racist, that really pulled them down. Omid Scobie's Endgame review. The real royal villain is William. And there on the right, Palace crisis talks. Charles prepares for crisis talks over Omid Scobie's race row. All of this came out. And then what happened? By January 17th, Kate had cancer, Charles had cancer. But it wasn't cancer. At first, it was Charles' prostate and Kate's stomach. Then it turned into cancer for Charles by, what was it, the 5th of February? And for Kate, March 22nd. That's when she said that she had cancer. All of that happened. I am convinced all of that happened because of Omid Scobie's book. See, this article was from December, I think it was. Royals put on show of defiance days after being smeared in Omid Scobie's race row. King and Queen consort are joined by Prince William and a dazzling Kate as they mingle. And also, this was the last time Kate publicly wore a tiara, I believe. After that, she was no longer allowed to wear a tiara. The Chaser Weekly. Imagine how sad we'd be without taxpayer-funded royal trips. And that was from October of 2024. And don't forget, remember this? They said it was the farewell tour for the monarchy when they went down to Australia, the Australian Republic movement. Now, of course, they just said that there is never going to be a day when well, I think I shared that yesterday. They said that the Republic movement in Australia is dead for now. For now. And it's only because the government doesn't feel like dealing with it right now. But trust me, if it really costs them money to deal with those Windsors, they'd be out of there yesterday. King and Prince William locked in struggle over future of monarchy. Inside the power struggle. Maybe that's just a distraction, so nobody is paying attention to this. Because, I mean, look at the Telegraph saying that they had a power struggle or are having a power struggle. The Telegraph reveals claims in Omid Scobie's new book, Endgame, including Prince of Wales' impatience for the top job. And over here, Prince William seizing more power as Charles weakens. At some point, and this is what, January 9th? At some point, and I don't know how, well, Charles seems to be full of energy. We have no idea what, if any, treatment that he's taken for his cancer. We don't even know what kind of cancer it was. If it was cancer. But whatever it was or was not, Charles is going to find himself on the business end of the same type of treachery that I alleged that he committed against his mother when he took all of her key staff away from her and put his own people in place. If that ever happens with Charles, then you know he ain't got much time. If William starts replacing his people, Charles' people, with people of his own, that old man is doomed. Lex says, look how much the tiaras and sashes don't matter when they all have one. This is why they need to put Harry and Meghan down. You can't tell the other's significant. Yeah. Thank you so much, Lex. Let's go back and take a look at that. They do just kind of blend in, don't they? And really, it has become rather generic. You know, there was a time when the royals would go to a movie premiere. The Queen, Margaret, the Queen Mother Cookie, all of them would wear tiaras. They all wore tiaras to any big function. Nowadays, most, unless it's a state dinner, they pretty much don't bother with those tiaras anymore. But anyway, thank you, Legs. And thank you for being a member, by the way. A member of Royal Sussex. Memberships of Royal Sussex are still a bargain at just $4.99. So let's see. Prince William views King Charles III's reign as transitional. Wow, that was back in November of 2023. And is in air mode, expert says. Well, we should believe it. I mean, somebody wrote it, so it must be true. But for now, he's just going to have to deal with his Burger King crown. And then, of course, Charles, with all those skeletons, the friendships that he's maintained, the friendships that his brother has maintained, they are, they have a lot going on. They use Harry and Meghan as a distraction, of course, but they have so much going on. And I really don't think most people care about the Duke of York. Most people don't care about him. It's barely newsworthy because they won't share anything that is so salacious that is going to draw people's interest. So these hit and miss articles here and there, it doesn't matter. All he has to do is stay on the Windsor estate. That is, Andrew, stay on the Windsor estate. And you know what they say? Out of sight, out of mind. It's just that simple. Out of sight, out of mind. Most people don't. He's just not a factor. I'm going to pin that to the top of the chat. Thank you. There is a link at the top of the chat where one may obtain a membership to Royal Sussex for just $4.99 once a month. $4.99. That is less than what is it? That what is that thing you have in your car that plays music? Whatever that service is. But it's much less than any streaming service you have. And it's a great way to support Royal Sussex, which has been here every day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year, except for that small period of time when I was in the hospital. So every day we've been here, and you can help support for just $4 and what is that? 89 cents a day, 79 cents a day. Somebody do that math. $4.99 a month. Oh no, it's much less than that, isn't it? 10 cents a day, 20 cents, whatever it is. That is a small price to pay. Okay, let's go to the next one. Like father, like son, on the eve of Chucky's coronation, the source of Prince Peggington's, this is from one of the squatties. Wealth has finally been uncovered. You know what? I don't know what happened to what was the name of that person? Cloud Nugget. I don't know what happened to Cloud Nugget. Oh my God, they used to share some really fun stuff. But yeah, I haven't seen anything from Cloud Nugget in ages. Yeah, it has been a long time. Oh boy. Okay, let me see if I can find Cloud Nugget. Hadn't thought about them in a long time. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't look like they shared anything since ah, well, it's been a while. Yeah, not since January 8th. And even then it wasn't much before that. So, yeah, very interesting. Ah, that is fun. I think I'll keep that. Okay. All right, moving on. So, Prince William is having a difficult time controlling his tantrums. I think I'm going to explore this article um, further in the near future. But for now, it says it looks like the Prince William that we get to see in public is certainly not the same Prince William that a lot of people experience behind closed doors. Prince William is having a difficult time controlling his tantrums. In fact, there's a new report that says the Prince of Wales is having a very difficult time controlling his tantrums, which is making the jobs of his staff members very hard. Well, I kind of, we know that behind the scenes there are the royal family is notorious for their tantrums, for their bullying tactics, and there's no recourse whatsoever for staff members. As a matter of fact, I think by law they're not even allowed. I don't even think they're allowed to challenge members of the family. One source close to the situation says that the Prince of Wales is very particular when it comes to the things that he likes and doesn't like in his life. For instance, his suits have to be pressed just right, his bath temperature has to be set, and his shoes must be polished the way he likes it, apparently. King Charles is just the same way. The insider said they both get irritated very quickly. They're very picky when it comes naturally to them, whatever that means. But if there is one person who can bring a little calmness in his world, Prince Williams is. Oh, they're saying Kate can calm him down. I don't know about that. I don't know about Kate calming him down. I don't know. This article seems to have a big hole in it that you could drive a truck through. Prince William always looks upset when he's in public. No, I thought that was Harry that was always upset in public, not Prince William. Even though Prince William looked like he's about to pinch your head off or something like that. Yeah, I know. I got to get back to doing those shorts again. I keep saying I am, but then I don't do them. So, anyway, there were all those articles in the past about king and queen, ready to be queen, ready to be king. Kate prepares to be queen. Um, and most of these articles were printed while Queen Elizabeth was alive. That's where most of those articles come from. I do believe that there was a campaign from William and his team, and perhaps the Middleton family, meaning Carol Middleton. I'm going to allege that there was a campaign before the Queen died to try to push for William to get to that throne first. And Charles played the long game and did not push back against any of these articles. Not one time that I can remember that Charles pushed back at those sorts of articles. And now that Charles is on the throne, it doesn't really involve Kate anymore. The idea that Kate will be queen, you don't hear that as much as you heard before Queen Elizabeth died. But William, they are still pushing the William thing, but they don't speak about Kate as much, as though people who know what's actually going on are having their doubts whether or not Kate will ever be queen. That's what I think. I think they're having their doubts that Kate will be queen. That is Graham Harold. I think that is the royal butler, Grant Harold. Anyway, he was on 60 Minutes Australia. And once again, I don't mean to put down 60 Minutes. I'm sorry, I don't mean to put down Australia, but 60 Minutes Australia is trash. It really is. It is awful. It is not the caliber of news that you get from the American 60 Minutes. 60 Minutes Australia seems to be very gossipy. It lacks human interest on a larger scale. It mostly focuses on things like neighbors' disputes and civil crimes. It's just not the same. Murder mysteries. That is 60 Minutes Australia. So different from the US version, the original version of 60 Minutes. I wouldn't even know about 60 Minutes Australia. Well, actually, I have watched some of their reports, but the reason why I stopped watching them is because of the constant attacks on Harry and Meghan, and the fact that they give some level of legitimacy to Thomas Markle and what's her name, the sister, the Hot Wheels, that they're constantly uplifting them and giving them a platform, and they omit so much of the information that is available. They omit a lot of things just to maintain negativity against the Sussexes. Oh, so the point of it was, he said that William would want Harry to be there for his coronation. I almost forgot to mention that. And that he doesn't want, in all likelihood, he doesn't want Harry to have a role. William wants him there, but William does not want Harry to have a role. In other words, it will probably be exactly what I expected, what you may have expected. I'm hoping that Harry doesn't even go to the coronation, but, you know, Harry is a royalist. That is his family, and he is maintaining his princely duties to a certain degree. So I think he will go. But whether or not he has a role, I pray God he doesn't. I hope that they sit him somewhere near the exit. I'm okay with that, away from the family. As a matter of fact, put Harry with the rest of the people. You know, I would rather he didn't go in the first place. I mean, but he's supposed to sit with his family, whatever. William may not even have a coronation. I just want you guys to think about that. William may not even have a coronation. He may not want to bother. He doesn't even like to dress up for the Order of the Garter. William's coronation may be dramatically different from that of any other monarch. The 39 or 40 monarchs that have sat on that throne. It may be very different. So be prepared for that. So anyway, you know what? If he wants to be upstaged on his coronation day, invite Prince Harry. Okay? Meghan and Harry upstaged the Queen at her funeral. Harry and Meghan upstaged Charles for his coronation. Whether or not they even go, it doesn't matter. All they talk about is whether or not they'll be there. So, where that's concerned, William will be completely upstaged. I don't know if that matters to him. I'm pretty sure it does, based on everything we've seen so far. But that's all I can say. If you want to be upstaged when they crown you king, invite your brother. That is bound to happen. I mean, all Harry has to do is walk in. All he has to do is walk in. He shows up and he becomes the focus of attention. Now, they can, of course, control the cameras so that they don't zoom in on him, but that's going to be all that people talk about. Whether he was there or not, what did he wear? Did he participate? Blah, blah, blah. Is Meghan gonna come or not? And, please tell us, Meghan, if you're going to go to the... They become obsessed with it. I will never forget when the Queen died and that jet went to the airport in Aberdeen and they just assumed that it was Harry and Meghan. They didn't care about William, Kate, Wilma, who else? They didn't care about Sophie. They didn't care about any of those other people. It was all about Harry and Meghan, period. So, hail King Harry, long live the king. Sussex Soldier says, isn't it funny how Prince William and Kate Middleton always have the energy for frequent vacations, but not for Commonwealth tours, etc. The monarchy deserves them. And talking about the monarchy, it is sinking. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle left a sinking ship at the right time. Hear, hear. Oh, you guys, Potsatani Will. You know that when when the groundhog, Potsatani Will, sticks his face out, right? When he comes out and he sees his shadow, that means that there is 6 more weeks before spring. So Potsatani Will, Potsatani Will, the groundhog, you know what I'm trying to say. Just a reminder, 6 more weeks. Let's see here. Zandy Sussex says, some parents are just not worthy of that role. Narcissist parents save their most harmful behavior for those who stand up to them and hold them accountable. This is why the truth-telling scapegoat child takes the worst of their abuse. Hear, hear. I noticed that Charles was smelling his hand the other day. Do you think they smell like sausage? Do you think that his hands have the smell of sausage? I mean, he has the sausage fingers. His fingers look like sausage. It just seemed to me that maybe he believes that they're sausages now. I think so. I think that he believes that they're turning into sausages. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. See those sausage fingers going into that till over there at High Grove with all that money he's making from the public? Now those are sausage fingers. And lastly, and guess what, you guys? I'm just about done. We'll round it off today with a little Black history. Let's see here. Oh, wait, that is so small. I cannot see it. Hold on. Hold on. I'm going to have to go someplace. But anyway, I am done, you guys. Let me make this bigger so I can see it. There we go. So, oh, that's still kind of small. Oh, wait, is that better? There we go. Henry Ossian Flipper. He was born in 1856, March the 21st, and he died April 26, 1940. Was an American soldier, engineer, former slave, and in 1877, the first African American to graduate from the United States Military Academy at West Point, earning a commission as a second lieutenant in the United States Army. He was also an author who wrote about scientific topics and his life experiences. After his commissioning, he was assigned to one of the all-Black regiments in the United States Army, which were historically led by white officers, assigned to A Troop under the command of Captain Nicholas M. Nolan. He became the first non-white officer to lead Buffalo Soldiers of the 10th Cavalry. Flipper served with competency and distinction during the Apache Wars and the Victorio Campaign, and was haunted by rumors alleging improprieties. Eventually, he was court-martialed and dismissed from the United States Army. After losing his commission in the Army, Flipper worked throughout Mexico and Latin America as an assistant to the Secretary of the Interior. He retired to Atlanta in 1931 and died of natural causes in 1940. Let's see. In 1976, his descendants applied to the United States Army for a review of Flipper's court-martial and dismissal. A review found the conviction and punishment were unduly harsh and unjust, and ordered Flipper's dismissal be changed to good conduct discharge. Shortly afterwards, an application for pardon was filed with the Secretary of the Army, which was forwarded to the Department of Justice. Eventually, President Bill Clinton posthumously pardoned Lieutenant Henry O. Flipper on February 19, 1999, 118 years after his conviction. So, yeah, there you go. That was the first African American to graduate from West Point. He was 84 years old. Yeah, when he died, he was 84 years old. Okay, you guys, thank you all very much. Thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Thank you, moderators, for keeping this a safe space. And thank you to everyone who has a membership to Royal Sussex, which, as a reminder, is still a bargain at just $4.99 a month. $4.99 a month. All you have to do is go to that link, and there are some memberships that are more expensive, but if you're on a budget for just how much is that in a year? $60, something like that. You can support Royal Sussex. Okay? All right. Thank you all very much, and good night, and thank you again, or good morning. Depends on where you are. Okay, let's do this.